What is up, Top Shot Nation, and welcome to the In Her Bag stream featuring the best moments from the WNBA playoffs. Super excited to be here today, joined by two GOATs. First, I'm going to introduce Carrie Omer from the NBA Top Shot team. She is our new social lead. Carrie, welcome to the show.
What's up, Jacob? Thanks for having me. I'm so excited for today. Obviously, we have some legendary moments that we'll be talking about. We also have a really special guest coming on.
Yeah, exactly. And we're grateful to be joined by the number 3 overall pick in the 2018 WNBA draft, but more importantly, a WNBA champion. Diamond DeShields, welcome to the show.
What's going on, Jacob, Carrie? Thank you guys for having me. Super, super dope, and just really excited to have this conversation.
So, Diamond, you won a championship in the 25th annual WNBA season. What has this season been like for your team? Obviously, going into the playoffs kind of under the radar and coming through with a chip. What was that experience like?
Turbulent. I mean, this season was, it was everything you think it was. Just going through, starting the season off, 7-game losing streak, coming back from that, then having some high moments and some low moments throughout the regular season, and then clinching a playoff spot, and then having to mentally recoup and be like, okay, guys, like, we're wiping the slate clean. We're going to forget about everything that happened. We're going to go win this championship. Nobody believed in us. Nobody thought we were going to win. Nobody expected it. All the moments, all the records broken, all the history created. It's like we just stamped all over the history books, and it's just been like surreal.
At what point during the playoff run did you realize we're not a 500 team anymore? We've got championship aspirations. We can do this.
As soon as it started.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as it started. I mean, we were saying we were going to win it. We said we were going to win it before the season even started. When we signed Candace and we showed up to training camp, like, that was our goal. And it didn't look pretty at first, but we never stopped believing in it. All you need is to clinch a playoff spot. And once we did that, we were like, okay, that part is over. Now we just got to go out here and win these games, and we knew that we could match up with everybody that was in front of us, ahead of us, and so we just kind of took it game by game, day by day.
You mentioned you knew you could match up with anyone in the league. Well, we're going to break down the best moments from the playoffs today. Very excited to run down this list because, as you know, the WNBA playoffs were a gauntlet, starting with that play-in game with the Liberty and the Mercury all the way through to the end. Just unbelievable moments throughout. And speaking of moments, Diamond, obviously the Dapper Labs and the WNBA launched the WNBA product mid-season. What was that like to see moments kind of get immortalized on the platform? And did it draw any buzz around the league from your standpoint?
It drew some buzz around the league, and Carrie and I have talked about this and how we can get more players aware of Top Shot and the opportunities and the benefits of just like being involved and participating in it. I had my teammates like asking me like, what is Top Shot? And I was fortunate and excited enough to be able to introduce them to it, educate them on it, talk to them and speak on it. And so to see the plays get immortalized that way, to see the plays being bought and sold and traded and all those things, like, it was just fun. It was just really fun. My very, very close friend, Ben, he's the one who introduced me to all this stuff. And so he and I just talk about it constantly, and it's just really cool.
I love it. And going into this drop today, we're recording this before, but we're dropping these packs on Tuesday. Legendary WNBA moments, the first legendary moments from the WNBA to hit the platform. Every pack contains not just one legendary WNBA moment numbered to only 125 in the world, but also 2 run it back WNBA moments. Wow. Ultra rare, limited to under 1,000 in circulation, covering the 25 greatest players in WNBA history and an additional 4 common moments from the WNBA regular season. So these packs are loaded. Carrie, you recently joined the team. What's it been like for you to be able to see the WNBA and how much it's kind of taken over the Top Shot community in recent weeks?
Oh man, well, I mean, I've been bought into the W for a while now, and I love the game, love the product, love the players. It's electric. Even being at Game 3 in Chicago, like the hype around the game is just like unfrickin' real. And being able to highlight the W on Top Shot has been outstanding. And even having Diamond on here with us today, WNBA champ, like how cool is this? I'm obsessed with it. Love the W, and I'm just like super excited. Even like in our ats and mentions, people have been like, thanks to Top Shot, I'm now super interested in the W, and the playoffs games have been so exciting. So just getting those mentions and whatnot have been like, I mean, that's what it's all about. For me, I love amplifying women's voices and pushing it more and more. And I'm just super stoked to see what we have in store for the W heading into the next season as well.
Awesome. Well, without further ado, I think it's time we just jump right into the moments. We've got some loaded ones. I think we're looking at 18 moments that are going to be scattered across this drop with 2 challenge rewards. And Diamond, needless to say, a bunch of your teammates are going to be heavily featured in these moments with good reason as champions of the league. But before we can get to the champs, we got to start at the top. We're going to tell the story of the WNBA playoffs. And no better place to start than with the New York Liberty that made the WNBA playoffs on the last day of the regular season. And Manaja Lanny here hitting the deep 3 over the Mercury in that playing game. That game was thrilling. Were you watching that from kind of your hotel or from the apartment trying to figure out what was going on? Because I know you guys were also going up that night.
We had just played, so I was at a sports bar right across the street from the arena, and because we wanted to watch this game. And yeah, so we were just sitting there watching it. We were in there like going crazy, just because that was just a really tough play. So, Naj has been amazing this season. It's incredible what happens when players are playing for coaches who believe in them, who give them an opportunity. And I think she really just took advantage. So this clip is basically the embodiment of that,
Absolutely. And the emotion after the shot, that was an intense game. From that same game, you knew we had to get a moment from Sabrina. And here we see a beautiful dime from Sabrina in a game that I think was a lot closer than people expected going into it. Carrie, what were your experiences watching that game?
I mean, I just have been having so much fun watching the Liberty in general this year. Like, I feel like they were there was high expectations, but then, they just kept grinding. And Sabrina's just such a freaking awesome player to watch. She's so exciting, and especially coming after last season with her injury, it's been so fun to watch her this year.
Moving ahead from that same game, we've got Sophie Cunningham. Obviously, Diamond, you matched up with Sophie later on in the playoffs, but here's Sophie hitting the deep 3 at a very clutch hour in the game.
Yeah. I mean, she shot the ball really well, like all playoffs. She came up big for them. And then obviously in the finals, when Kia went down, she made a lot of really big plays. And so, Sophie's someone who I've been playing against since college, and I always believed that she was going to be able to make an impact in the W. And, that's what she did.
So those 3 moments from the first playing game, we've got the other playing game that, as you mentioned, you were a part of. We're going to start with Arike Ogunbowale here. Carrie, when you were watching this game, Arike, since the Notre
I literally was laughing when she made this shot. Like, you was just one of those ones, I was just like, I'm here. She stopped, popped, and it dropped. And I'm just like, hey man, that's a tough shot. Me and Arike are really good friends. So we always enjoy just the competition when we get to match up with each other. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but this is funny.
No,
Oh no.
Totally justified. And Arike, not shy when it comes to hitting big shots throughout her career in college, obviously in the W as well. What do you like when it comes to scorers like her? You mentioned you just kind of have to laugh and chuckle and go on to the next play. Which other players in the league kind of just make you like roll your eyes and say, "There's nothing I can do here"?
Definitely DT. You know, Diana is one of those ones where it's like you can't stop a player like them that are just like all around scorers. You can only hope to contain them and make them shoot like high volume. So it's like, okay, if this person averages 20 or 18 or whatever, if they can take 20 or 18 shots, then you've done your job. You know, Allie Quigley, another one, you know, I'm chasing her around every day in practice. So dealing with her every day, I feel for all of our opponents, you know, when she starts going off. So, you know, there's some scores in the league that, you know, you expect them to get, you know, they're going to get theirs every night, but you just got to try to make it as hard as possible.
Moving along, same game, Satu Sabali hitting a very nice layup here. Contested the whole way, finishes lefty, strong. In this game, obviously you guys ended up pulling it out. There was a lot. It was close for a good part of that second half.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're playing like single elimination games, you can expect like close ones. And we're playing a fired up, young, motivated Dallas team, and so it was one of those games where we knew if we executed that we felt confident in pulling away and winning the game, but we also knew that they weren't just going to roll over and give it to us. So that was one of those games where like mentally our approach had to be really, really firm and strong and together. You know, they put up a really good fight though. It was definitely a fun game.
So we've got a moment from that game from your side, the victors. You mentioned Allie Quigley just a minute ago, and here we are. This was her moment from the WNBA playoffs, showing off the flashy handles, finishing off glass.
And Q has sneaky handles, like very sneaky. Like you look at her, you're like, she's not shifty. All she does is shoot. She's slow, you know, all that, and then she does some shit like that, and it's just like, okay.
Like it's so true.
Yeah, like she kind of tough. Like she'll pull out some dribble combos sometimes, and I'll be like, oh wow, okay. Like so Q is tough. She's definitely like I'm an Allie Quigley fan, so I go hard for Allie Quigley.
Like one of the best shooters in the league, and then just pulls out that.
And Carrie, you were at Game 3 of the WNBA Finals. Allie had a nice game that night. What was it kind of like watching Chicago? That home crowd. I wish I was there to see it. It seemed as rocking as any arena I've seen.
It was insane, and even just like having chants there, and like it just the atmosphere was outstanding. I'm from Toronto, so I was around like the Raptors playoff run, and seriously having kind of similar vibes. It was like just electric. Everyone was so excited about it too. Like people just walking around, you know, shouting, excited. Like it was just like, I don't know, any type of environment like that. I'm just like, it's outstanding. And like Chicago, I think is like, they were just so bought in. The fans were like, so I can't explain it. It's just, they were all amazing. And like, yeah, I mean, I hope everyone can experience something like that, because the atmosphere was just like, you leave that building and you're just like, okay, I'm hyped up. Let's go.
For real, I'm ready for whatever. It was crazy.
And Diamond, you obviously had crazy crowds in college. What was it like to see these crowds throughout the playoffs? I feel like Chicago really developed a reputation of their fans turned out for this team. I've
played in front of some like, you know, fans, but I never played in an environment like what we experienced in the semifinals and in the finals. Like especially in the finals, like the crowd was literally like roaring. You know, like every moment it was like the gym was like shaking, like rocking. Everybody was up. You know, I think we established some chants for our franchise, you know, like some, you know, like you go to some arenas and everyone has their thing that they do, you know, Phoenix, when they're like, Diana Taurasi shooting two, and everyone goes making two, you know, and so like I think we kind of established some of that, and I think that was just so cool to like watch it happening in real time. But yeah, man, our fans they're amazing.
Moving along here, we're going to get back to Chicago later on. We're progressing through here, though, and we've got our first moment from round 2, and this one from one of the GOATs, Sue Bird, with a three-pointer, very clutch one at that. Just, you mentioned Diana Taurasi, obviously played in college with Sue Bird, and they're coming toward the end of their careers. Maybe not quite yet for some, maybe, who knows? What has it been like to watch Sue Bird throughout your kind of upbringing as a fan and now as a player?
It's been amazing. You know, Sue is one of the greats. We've seen her hit these shots time and time again over the course of her career. She's a very efficient catch and shoot 3-point player. So, you know, if you give her an opportunity to shoot a shot like that, you can almost definitely believe that it's going to drop. And, you know, just to watch her, to play alongside her, you know, USA Basketball, to speak with her and to, you know, break bread with her a little bit and just talk. It's just like, Sue's so cool, man. And I'm happy to see her getting her flowers and getting all the recognition that she is right now. So this moment is just really cool.
I also just love how Sue's just so humbled and so chill. Like she'll just like hit the best shot ever, and then she's just like, yeah, fine.
That's Sue though. She's like that. She's just cool, man, all the time.
Moving ahead here, another all-time great, Sylvia Fowles. Minnesota really came on this season. They look like they're going to be a presence for a while to come, and Sylvia's always been one of the best rim protectors in the league. Here we see her denying Candace. Candace gets last laugh at the end of the day, but what was it like in this matchup? Because this was a hard-fought battle.
I mean, they're just dominant bigs in the league, man, and you can't even begin to talk about them without mentioning Sylvia first. You know, I just feel like she's just one of those ones that's just like you gotta like prepare every aspect of who you are to play against her. Because if you don't, she's gonna come out and she's gonna just destroy you and just have fun doing it. She's such an incredible player. She's such a powerful presence. And so this matchup was it was fun. You know, I was watching Candace and Syl battle it out in college. So it was kind of like, you know, revisiting those LSU Tennessee games that were also so legendary between them two. So this is really cool.
Moving ahead here, we're into the semifinals with our moments. We're about halfway through the epic moments from the playoffs. And we're moving over to the regular season champs of the Eastern Conference, the Connecticut Sun. We got Dewana Bonner with a big three-pointer here.
Why do these plays always happen to me? Like, it's like Sophie did it, Enrique did it, Dewana did it. I'm just like, okay. Nah, DB, man, DB's a big shot maker. And she makes big shots for that team. Huge reason why they're in the position that they were in. So, you know, just credit to her and her hard work. I remember this moment very vividly.
When someone hits a deep shot like this, you mentioned earlier, you just kind of have to laugh when Enrique hits it. When DB hits it, this is long range. Like, do you have to recalibrate like how out you have to get on the defense there? Or are you like, okay, I'll give her that shot next time. It's not going to go in every time.
It was a long three. It was low shot clock. It was quick release. You know, and it just was like, it just fell. And I'm just like, that was one of them ones, could I have been there? Maybe. Like, she just hit a tough shot, you know. Sometimes that's just, those things happen.
Fast forward about a week, we've got our next moment, also from the Sun, and the WNBA MVP, Jonquel Jones. And Jonquel kind of does a little bit of everything, but here we see the nice handles to the great finish.
Yeah, she's gifted, man. I'm so happy for JJ, first of all, for the year that she's had and just the work that I've seen her put in each and every year, the progression. And I genuinely enjoy her game. I very much do. And watching someone at her size do things like this, you know, the only other player that's doing it is Candace. And so, you know, that's Candace-esque right there. And so, you know, that just speaks to the type of talent that Jonquel is, because, like I said, there's nobody doing that at her size.
Carrie, you're a big fan of the W. Watched the whole season through. Obviously, Jonquel wasn't in the bubble. To see her come back and kind of take the next leap in her career, what was your experience watching Connecticut this year?
Oh man, they're tough. Like they're just like they came into the playoffs on such a roll too, and just she was unstoppable all season. Like Diamond, for you guys, like facing the Sun, how hard were they to face in the playoffs? Like they were just, I feel like, on another level all season, continuing into the playoffs.
I mean, the thing about playing a team like that is you have to keep them from going downhill.
Yeah.
You know, and that's hard to do because they have such fast guards, and then they have capable 3-point shooters. So you really kind of got to pick your poison. And so playing a team like them is extremely difficult, especially with players like DeWanna and players like Jonquel and Brianna Jones, who just was like a problem. You know, Alyssa Thomas came back, and we all know what she can do. It's hard, man. It's hard. You're in the playoffs. Everybody wants to win. They got the MVP. They're the number 1 seed. They got the, you know, like all the hype and everything is just against us. And, you know, this series is what brought us, like, turned us into like one of these. And we was just ready to knock somebody out.
Also, too, like after you guys took that down, I feel like almost not like momentum shift, but you guys were just having fun too. Like like you guys were dancing and like the vibe was just like so high on your team, like unstoppable.
When we keep it light and we're able to just be that way and just enjoy each other and be present, that's when we shine the brightest. That's when we play the best. Put one foot in front of the other, like I said, game by game, and just execute.
So we had to save some epic moments from Chicago for the finals. So we'll get to those in a little bit. But one epic moment from the semis that really stood out was Courtney Vandersloot and this assist that we're pulling up.
Every Courtney Vandersloot moment stood out. Are you kidding me? The best point guard ever. I don't care. Like, I will argue with anybody about it, and that's just how I feel.
She really is remarkable, right? The vision, the instincts of when to kind of create her own shot. It seemed there were a few games where maybe her shot wasn't hitting, and then the fourth quarter rolls around, and all of a sudden she's on fire instantaneously. But what I've always just been amazed by is that deft touch, and you can see it right here. You know, threading the needle on an overhead pass and hitting Candace in stride for an easy finish.
She threads the needle, but it's like an accurate thread.
Right.
It's like you don't have to alter. There's no like catches like this. There's no low catch. Like it's like right on time, right on target. She just does it, just like so consistently. So I don't know. I don't know how she does it.
And what I love about the duo here, because Candace moves off ball. They both see the game at just such an elite level, and it seems like they play off of each other really well. And obviously, it takes time when you have new teammates to really come together, figure out how to play off each other best. What was your experience seeing this team kind of come together? You mentioned earlier, from day one, you thought you were going to be the champs. 7-game losing streak, but the talent was too kind of impressive to sustain losing habits. At what point was it kind of like, this is the most talented team I've played with? And I don't want to speak for you because it's possible there may have been a different team, but you mentioned some all-time GOATs on this team.
I mean, this is when you looked at our roster, you could definitely say like this is the most talented roster in the league, you know, top to bottom. And then, but you also you got to figure it out, right? You bring in a superstar like Candace Parker. I don't think anybody's ever brought a player like that in year one and figured it out and won a championship, right? Against all odds, against, 500 regular season. Like, it was just so many things that could have just crippled us. And so playing with this team, it's like, yeah, talent-wise, it's like incredible, right? We could talk about everybody and what they do, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, as far as resiliency, determination, like commitment, like it was just like, like unlike anything I've ever experienced.
So speaking of superstars, we're going to now progress to the Western Conference Finals. And we got A'ja Wilson, who was coming off of an MVP season last year. Still one of the elite players and a top shot ambassador at that. And here we see her kind of just showing off everything, right? The steal, the defense, the lefty pass in transition on a dime. Obviously, you didn't have to match up with her in the playoffs, but just watching her on the night that you guys weren't playing, what was that experience like?
I mean, she's a generational talent. You know, she's very, very good at what she does. We don't get to often see her taking the ball in transition like this. So to see her kind of display this is a very special moment. Shows that she's very capable of, you know, making decisions in transition. Normally that pass is being made to her. But Asia is just, you know, she's such an amazing player. And, you know, I really enjoy going through like our basketball journey, like in parallel, you know, from AAU to college to now. You know, there's certain players that you kind of just like have these connections with, and Asia is definitely one of them. And I enjoy watching her do this. This is just so much fun.
And Carrie, from your perspective, just watching through the playoffs, I think going into the playoffs, I think a lot of people were penciling the Aces as the favorites to win it all, just with their kind of playoff experience and just how dominant they were in the regular season. What did you see from them throughout the playoffs, and what kind of are your predictions for them for the years to come?
Oh man, this squad's so good. Like, they do what they do. Like, they're such a solid. Like, you look at the roster and you look at the names down that list, and they're just like talented after talented after talented. I think like from Asia to Cambage to all of that. Like, I think they're gonna be a team to reckon with for the future. Like next couple of years, whatnot. Like, they're a tough team.
Moving ahead, we've got Chelsea Gray with a pinpoint dime to Liz Cambage. And that's what Liz does. She can hit the mid-ranger. It's what Chelsea does. She can hit players everywhere.
Chelsea's got great vision. She's another amazing point guard. I sometimes just, I mean, you just never know what she's gonna do with the ball. Like, she'll throw some like crazy no looks, and it's just like, I mean, what can you do? How do you defend it? Like, because it just looks like she's about to shoot a layup and maybe try to draw a foul or something, and then she just wraps around a 6'8" and throws a dime, and you can't really guard that. So, you know, Chelsea makes these type of plays all the time, and I'm just happy to be seeing these moments be shared on a platform like Top Shot for us to gain fans from, and for people to engage and interact with and see, because we have some really, really talented players in the W, and so it's really cool.
Speaking of talented players, this one, she was named the GOAT, Diana Taurasi. We got her moment. Now we're looking at the last couple moments from the semis, and here's Diana, 37 points, coming through in the clutch, unguardable. You mentioned earlier, she's one of the few that you just kind of have to roll your eyes and kind of smile, because there's nothing better you can do as a defender. What was it like going up against her on the brightest stage with the rivalry that I guess Candace and Diana have created over the last, 10, 15 years?
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better opponent in the finals. You know, Diana is going to come with some heat, some steam. Her teammates carry that same swagger, that same, you know, so playing against her in the biggest moment on the biggest stage and guarding her, you know, is something that you dream of, right? Like, I grew up watching Diana Taurasi, and now it's like I'm guarding her in the finals, you know, to win my first ring, getting to chase her around and kind of banter back and forth with her in between plays. You know, it's just like, it was so much fun. I respect DT so much in her game and what she's done for the game, and you know, she's amazing. You could just go on and on about her.
Now, Diamond,
Oh
I'm gonna put you on the spot here, Diamond. There was a door at the championship parade. Any details you can share there?
Honestly, I heard about the door the day we got to the parade. And apparently, Diana was upset after the game and broke the door. But I had no idea that they were going to take it off the hinges and bring it to the parade. And sure enough, it was there, and I had no parts in it. That's all I can say.
You know how
That's so funny.
You know how the United Center has that big MJ statue? Just gotta put that door outside Wintrust, or bring it to the Basketball Hall of Fame, because that needs to be immortalized.
I mean, that's a top shot moment right there.
Absolutely. Great. We've got one more moment, and then we're getting to the finals, and the last moment from the semis comes from arguably the most dominant player in the league today, Brittany Griner. Obviously, you had to go up against her in the finals, but here we see her with the game-saving block, securing the victory for Phoenix in one of the most epic matchups we've seen in recent playoff memory. Similar to Diana, having to go up against Brittany for a series, what was that experience like?
Man, BG's so tough. She's so tough. And big-time players just make big-time plays. You know, sometimes in the playoffs, it's like it doesn't come down to schemes, or it doesn't come down to, you know, X's and O's. Like, this is just her reading this and making a play, making a defensive play to advance her team to the finals. And so, you know, when it was time for us to match up with them, we knew she was going to be she was in this rhythm already. She's out here making plays. She's hitting turnaround hook shots. She's hitting, her mid-range was hitting very, very nicely, especially in this game. And so, you know, she's just a dominant player, man. She's worked so hard. Another player whose game has just developed over the years and improved. And, you know, it's just great to have her have a chance to display that, you know, in front of the rest of the world. I'm all about the opportunity for players to be seen, and I think she did a good job, man. She did amazing.
Yeah, I think like one word to describe, it's just tough. Like, she's just tough.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you just, yeah.
Now, next moment, the last Mercury moment of this drop, and this one comes from Skylar Diggins-Smith, who put on a hell of a show in the finals. And here we see her crossing over, epic finish and transition. Another all-time GOAT. Phoenix was such a gargantuan, like such a team to try to take down, and you guys were able to do it pretty convincingly. But obviously, you've gone up against Skylar for years now. What's that kind of being able to share the stage with Diana, Brittany, and Skylar? That's a epic big three there.
I mean, yeah, like these are 3 Olympians. You know, that's their big three, you know, and we're matching up with them in the finals. It's all you can dream of. And you know, Skylar likes to get in the tunnel and try to get downhill. And she's very, very good at it. And then this is just a play, you know, this is just her making a play. There's no screens, there's no nothing. Like, it's just her in her bag, you know, opportunity to seal the game and taking advantage of it. So, you know, Skylar's another one of those players that's just capable of taking games over and making big plays. Skylar is very, very tough, and this is a very tough bucket. I don't like it, but
well, I got good news, because speaking of tough buckets, your team had a few tough buckets, and the MVP of the entire series, KFC, we got a layup from her, and just her breakout playoffs all around, and this one highly contested. What were you able to see in terms of her growth through the season from day one to championship night?
I mean, it's just like preparation meets opportunity, you know, like Ka took full advantage of every single opportunity she was given, full advantage. And then she just hit a stride where it was no longer about like, I need to prove. It was like, nah, I'm here. And the finals, or the whole playoffs, you know, she was here. Like, she was locked in. She was making plays. shooting the ball really well, defending other teams' best perimeter player. She was doing everything for us. So just to see her kind of go through this evolution, and I'm so proud of her. I tell her this all the time. Like, just couldn't be more proud or happy for her. And she deserves everything that she's getting right now.
She's been her first couple of years in the league pretty quiet, wasn't really getting the minutes, but put in that work. And like, I read her Players Tribune article this morning about her being that, North Philly kid, and it really came out in the playoffs. And I think when I think of her in the playoffs, I think of that stare down photo. And she's like, that's Philly. That's Philly. Like,
she a dog. She a dog. She ain't scared of nothing.
And now when we're talking about, we mentioned they had a big three of the all-time greats. And then you see a game like this where you just lay a beat down, 36-point victory. You get to see in this moment Candace Parker point forwarding up a storm, just kind of creating transition buckets, play after play. At what point in this game were you like, oh my goodness, we are the best team in the league, no questions asked?
I mean, pretty early on, honestly. Like, this game was just like, it was no way we were coming home for our first game in the finals and we was gonna come home and lose. So after about the first quarter, and then when he subbed in the bench and then we went on a run, I was like, okay, like this is gonna be a long night for Phoenix. There were so many cool moments, like Dana hitting those 3 threes in the fourth quarter and just hearing the crowd react to it. It's like, we're at 30 at this point. Like, they could have started leaving. They could have just been like, oh, we don't want to cheer no more. But they were just going crazy for Dana. Like and there aren't too many rookies that get to like erupt the crowd in the finals their rookie year. It's another moment for Dana. Like, that was really cool.
Now we've got the last moment that's going to be in the drop. If there was any doubt of who it was, we're going to remove that doubt right now, because Candace Parker, the story of the season, making good, the hometown heroine. And here you see her hitting a clutch 3 to lock in the victory in Game 4. And once again, we're seeing Courtney Vandersloot finding Candace open, Candace delivering with a clutch bucket. This is just an unbelievable moment, not just for the play itself, because you can see like the crowd and how into it they are, kind of actually interfeeding with the bucket. You can see the crowds, the hands going up.
Yeah, this was when she made this shot, I was like, we about to win. We about to win. I'm about to get a ring. Like, we got it. Like, it's over with. That's such a deflating play. That's one of them ones that you feel just like, oh, in your heart. You're on the road, hits the big 3 to tie the game. Oh man, now we gotta figure it out. It's a little under 2 minutes to go. Like, I knew we were winning at this point. That was a very big shot.
Carrie, what was going through your head through watching the end of this one?
I almost missed my flight from watching this game. So I was like tuning in. I was celebrating. I was like so locked in. I made them change the football game to the basketball game at the airport bar. I was like so dialed. I was so fired up. And I was just like, I got everyone around me super stoked. I was like, all right, guys, like this is happening. I was like, yeah, I mean, ice cold. So amazing to see. Like, it's just like so special, especially Candace coming back to Chicago. This all happening. It's just like you couldn't have written it better.
And now what I love about this moment, obviously the play itself is unbelievable, but I think this is the best thumbnail in the entire drop. And we're going to see this thumbnail coming up right here. This is just, when we look back on Candace's career, that image, that's gonna kind of permeate through time.
Yeah, for sure. That's a Kobe. That's a one of them. I'm so happy for Candace, man. She came here and did what she said she was gonna do, and she's gonna forever be remembered and immortalized in this city for sure.
Also, what was it like? I feel like just her leadership style. Like she comes in and just makes everyone better and pushes everyone so much. And like how big of a game changer was she for you guys this season?
Well, I mean, CP she just brings that experience. You know, she brings a level of calm that we all can like lean on and lean into. And leadership style, you know, she's a basketball head. She loves the game. You could talk X and O's with her for forever. So just having her bring that wisdom as well, like hearing her kind of talk with the coaches about like strategy and you know being heard and all that stuff has just played a huge role in our success this season.
There you have it. 18 epic moments celebrating one of the most epic WNBA playoffs of all time. And Diamond, just thank you so much for joining us here. Super grateful and humbled to be joined by a champion. And no one's ever going to be able to take that away from you. You might become a multi-time champion in the next year or two, but you're a champion, and that's unbelievable. Congratulations.
Thank you.